Hey everyone, I'm going to be ranking all Beatles songs. Obviously this is my opinion, but they're my favorite band. I've listened to them my whole life. So let's get right into it. Now this first part is my list of my least favorite Beatles songs. These are the ones that I'm just not crazy about, I can pretty much do without. And I pretty much just ranked them chronologically. These are the songs that I have no problem just skipping over when I listen to Beatles music. We'll start off with Not a Second Time and I'll Be Back. I mean, they're very similar. They're just kind of blah, and they're kind of a little bit on the sad side, just kind of a minor key thing. Just not wonderful, not fun to listen to. I Call Your Name. John was a great songwriter, a great singer, but this song just doesn't really have the it factor. The cowbell is cool, but that's about it. Matchbox, it's fast, it's jaunty, but it's just pretty boring. By the way, fun fact, only Ringo and George sang the Carl Perkins written Beatles songs. John and Paul did not sing any Carl Perkins songs. Think for Yourself, You Like Me Too Much. They're just a couple of mid-60s George songs that are just fine, whatever, boring. Wait, decent. If I Needed Someone, blah. Within You Without You, just one of the George Indian flavored songs. Pretty boring to me. Most of these aren't really bad songs, they're just boring songs. Here, There, and Everywhere, probably the sappiest song Paul ever wrote. It's just slow, touchy-feely love, you know, vomit-inducing. The White Album is a cool experience for what it is, but that also comes with some songs not being the best. Julia, it's okay, kind of boring though. Long, 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 slow, boring. Revolution 1, a very sad copy of the great regular electric version, Revolution. Revolution 9, it's artistic, but come on. I mean, how often do you really want to hear this? Good Night, extremely boring. Ringo just doing whatever. Golden Slumbers, not quite as cheesy as Here, There, and Everywhere, but still kind of cringy, just too much, just... It's pretty obvious that George was not the songwriter that John and Paul were. I Me Mine, blah. Long and Winding Road, just really, really overly just emotional and dramatic and everything. I will say it is better on the original, the Let It Be Naked version. Before Phil Spector got his hands on it, it is much better without all those strings on it, I will say that. All right, here's my next group, my next 49 songs. Still not numbering yet, but it is gonna be chronological. These are not my least favorite Beatles songs. These are the ones I like at least a little bit. Better than the other list, but still not the greatest. Sleep Ditch and Come Gimme Dinah Han, they're obviously just the German language versions of She Loves You and I Wanna Hold Your Hand for their German audience. So, you know, you hear them once or twice and you're good. You go back to the originals, the hits. Slow Down, decent, fun, jaunty, not wonderful. Boys, I always thought was a little strange because it was sang by a girl group and they're talking about how much they love boys. Yay, boys, we love boys. And then they get Ringo to sing it with the others backing him up. They switch it up for the verses. My girl says when I kiss her lips, all that. But they still say boys in the chorus. So it's a little strange in that regard. P.S. I Love You, it's fine. Blah, one of their early efforts. Baby It's You, kind of a cool song, decent. The Smith version might be a little better. A Taste of Honey, fine. I'd probably rather hear the instrumental version by Herb Alpert, I believe that is. And even, I'd probably rather hear Alan Sherman's version, to be honest. A Waste of Money, pretty funny song. Don't Bother Me, decent song by George, not my favorite. If I Fail is a cool song. It's got, you know, it's got the nice little love vibe and everything. It's kind of cool. I Wanna Be Your Man is a fun song. Not a whole lot of lyrics in that song though. Lots of repetition with the lyrics going on there. They say I wanna be your man like 9,000 times. Things We Said Today. I mean, it's kind of like the Don't Bother Me, Not a Second Time, I'll Be Back. They have that kind of minor key thing. It's just not as exciting to me. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. But Things We Said Today is a decent song. It's okay. Not my favorite. Now remember, this is the second grouping. So, I mean, I do like a lot of these songs in this second grouping. So they're just not my favorites, you know. When I Get Home, good song, decent song, it's kind of cool. Kansas City, Hey Hey, fun song. Honey Don't, kind of a fun song. The words are just kind of blah, but it's kind of cool. What Goes On, kind of cool, kind of fun, a little bit boring. Trust me, starting with the third section, I'm not going to be saying all this blah 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 stuff because I'm getting all that out of the way the first two sections. Run for Your Life, pretty cool, fun song. I'm Only Sleeping, decent pre-psychedelic John song. I think that's Nancy Wilson's favorite guitar solo, by the way, the whole backwards thing going on. It's kind of cool. Love You Too, again, one of George's Indian flavored songs. It's decent. I Want to Tell You, again, decent. Tomorrow Never Knows, again, pre-psychedelic. A little bit on the boring side, but decent. Rain, I do like Rain. The bulk of the song is just kind of blah. The best part of that song by far is Paul's bass line. He does awesome bass stuff in there. I love it at the end when Paul's bass and Ringo's drums, they kind of go together, just a boom, 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 boom. That part's really cool. Fixing a Hole, decent. I always kind of compare that one with Getting Better, and to me, Getting Better is kind of like Fixing a Hole. They're just like little pop Paul songs on Sgt. Pepper, but Getting Better is a way better song than Fixing a Hole. There's not much of a reason to listen to the Sgt. Pepper reprise on its own because it's just a copy of the first song, just not as good. Full on the Hill is kind of nice, I will say that. It's just kind of just a nice little mellow song, just kind of just letting it flow. Flying is nice. It's not content thick, but it does have some cool, nice, relaxing vibes. The guitar part in the middle is kind of cool. Blue Jay Way, again, one of George's Indian songs. It's okay. All You Need Is Love. It's okay, it's decent, it's flower power, love everyone. It's okay. On to the White Album. Wild Honey Pie, throwaway song, kind of fun to hear. Rocky Raccoon, I kind of like. It's not a masterpiece, but it's kind of a cool song. Why Don't We Do It on the Road? Paul, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Why are you doing this? I Will is a good love song. It's just, you know, whatever. The Inner Light does have a cool vibe to it. Probably a little more interesting than some of the other George Indian flavored songs. Honey Pie has a pretty cool vibe. It has that, you know, Paul liked doing that old 20s, 30s type thing going, so kind of a cool song. And probably the most shocking thing in this entire Beatles list that I'm making is in this category I've also included While My Guitar Gently Weeps. In my opinion, this is the #1 most overrated Beatles song. I know it's popular by a lot of people's admission, probably top 10 on a lot of people's list. I like what I like. To me, the song is boring. It's not a bad song, it's just a boring song. And by far the best part of the song is Eric Clapton's guitar work. Just the words, the melody, it's just slow. I don't know why everybody likes this song so much. To me, I mean, maybe because it has this big feel. I don't know, but to me, it's boring. All Together Now, fun song, sounds like it was written for kids, but it's fun. Not deep, not a masterpiece, but fun. Only a Northern Song and It's All Too Much sound like George was just in the same vibe and wrote both of those songs in the same afternoon. They just have the same vibe, and they're both decent, but they're just both psychedelic songs that sound very similar, and they probably get mixed up in my head. Ballad of John and Yoko, it's okay. Fun fact, John and Paul are the only Beatles playing on this song. On to Abbey Road, Octopus's Garden. It's imaginative, but it's kind of boring. Carry That Weight, kind of boring. The End is cool. I mean, it's fast, it's rousing. The guitar solos in the middle by John, Paul, and George are all pretty cool. It's okay. What are you gonna say about Her Majesty? And it lasts for like 20 seconds. I think this was probably Paul not wanting some, strangely enough, because he's sappy on a lot of songs, but I don't think he wanted the ending of the last Beatles album that was recorded to be quite that sappy and everything. So that's probably why he added on Her Majesty at the end, which is kind of a cool touch. It just has a little light moment at the end of it. Kind of like Joni Mitchell's laugh at the end of Big Yellow Taxi. Across the Universe, overly serious. Dig It, throwaway song like Wild Honey Pie. I think Maggie May was an old bar song that was thrown onto the Let It Be album. It's decent. Fun fact, that was the last song recorded by the Beatles that they did not write. For You Blue, just another pretty boring George song. It's okay, it's okay. You Know My Name, Look Up the Number. I will say this is probably my vote for the funniest Beatles song, especially the anthology version. But the song itself is just a kind of just a random mix of different versions of it, which is telling someone a very insulting thing. You Know My Name, Look Up the Number. I'm not gonna tell it to you. All right, on to part 3. Good songs, but they're missing that emotional connection. They're missing some magic. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. These will also be somewhat chronologically. Chains, cool song, fun to sing. Ask Me Why, decent early Beatles song. Little Child, fun early Beatles song. Till There Was You is very nice. Obviously, for a lot of people, the mind goes to the second song they performed on Ed Sullivan that night, where they show their names and John, sorry girls, he's married. And that really cool George Harrison guitar solo in the middle. That's a really nice solo. Please Mr. Postman, very cool song. Money is very fun, very raucous, very moving. Kind of the anti-love song. I don't want love, I want money. Happy Just to Dance With You, one of my more favorite George songs, pretty cool song. And I Love Her, that is one of my more favorite slow Paul songs. It's got a nice vibe with the claves and everything. It almost has like a Mexican vibe with the claves, and just that's the way it feels a little bit, just nighttime out in the desert. Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby. If I was writing it, I probably would have tweaked the words a little bit. Still a pretty fun song. George has some cool Carl Perkins inspired guitar work on that. The Word, one of those songs in the mid-60s, just, you know, kind of cool. Not my favorite, kind of cool. Back in the USSR, nice, fun, rocking song. Martha My Dear has that really nice classical vibe with the strings. It's got a really cool melody, just a nice little pop song. Mother Nature's Son, similar vibe to Martha My Dear. Has kind of that soft feel to it, just kind of a cool melody, White Album. Cry Baby Cry, decent song, kind of a cool melody. It's okay. All right, section 4. This is where I'm going to start ranking them, each one individually numbered, going all the way down to number 1. Coming in at number 131, we have Yes It Is. Really nice John love song. It's got the volume pedal, or the volume knob, however they're doing it, with the swelling in of the guitar like that. Very cool effect, and very soulful vocals by John there. 130, Yellow Submarine. One of the catchiest songs ever. It's one of those songs that it's gonna get stuck in your head. That's the big draw of the song there. John's got the funny little things in the middle. 129, With a Little Help from My Friends. This is the original, but I'd probably rather listen to the Joe Cocker version. It's just a little more exciting. 128, Your Mother Should Know. Again, one of those Paul early type songs like Honey Pie. Sounds like it's from the 20s. It's got a really cool vibe. It's got a cool melody. Just a fun little song on the Magical Mystery Tour album. 127, Lady Madonna. Nice pop song. Got a good beat, kind of fast. Got good rhyming, got good melody. Paul doing what Paul does. Thank You Girl. We're getting to that area where we just have good pop songs. The words, the melody are just written very nice together. They seamlessly flow into each other. Everything is done perfectly. It's just one of those really good Beatles songs. Hold Me Tight. I love Hold Me Tight from the With the Beatles album. Fast song, love song. Got a little bit of emotion worked into it, but overall it's just a nice, happy, fast song. How can you not love Bad Boy? John giving the raucous vocals there. Talking about all the crazy bad stuff that this kid is doing. He's just a bad little boy, but he loves the rock and roll music. It's just a fun song. George giving the really nice guitar all the way through it. And at 122, Tell Me What You See. Just a nice mid-60s Beatles pop song. Some may rank it lower. I think it's a good song.